it just seems to me that the goal and the mission is so exciting, and that starting out as a beginner with the help of Greenville, we have moved faster than I've ever seen an organization like this before. We have a working board. We're in the process of developing an advisory committee. We have sponsorship and cooperation from many organizations, both at the University of Georgia and the Athens community as a whole. And I think we're really set for the COVID virus to be behind us and to move forward. And I would expect within several years that we would be up and running and presenting many programs, both historical and theatrical and educational, which will be so exciting for our community.
This has been an unusual start. Traditionally, this is an outdoor, under the tent kind of a program. And then the pandemic hit. And interestingly, our original Chautauqua here in Athens ended in the 1900 pandemic. So here we get hit again. But the good thing is, Peter Balsamo was very savvy with using Zoom and bringing presenters in from afar. So he just pushed us right into virtual presentations. Now, the good thing about that is we have got people in our audience from all over the country, the Northeast, the Northwest. I've got a devoted couple from Texas, Houston, where I'm from, and they come to every single program. We've even had people from England join us. So going forward, even after the pandemic, I can see a role for continuing on Zoom, because it impacts so many lives all over the place. And who knows, maybe it'll help spawn a Chautauqua in their area.
There are two things that I want to say. One of them, that I love in-person performances and events, but I also see how Zoom has really helped us to continue and to grow during COVID. So that was kind of a real blessing in disguise. It was like a little bit of a silver lining for such a dreadful event in our nation and the world. But when Art was mentioning the first event that we had at the Athens Public Library, I want to let you know that I was totally amazed. And we had two professors, one of them who's a retired law professor, another one is a retired theater professor, and then a civic activist, and then I was the moderator. Well, we were all excited about this. We arranged to have food. The library had to let us use the space, and we were thinking to ourselves for our very first event, well, maybe we'll get 25 people. Wouldn't it be great if we got 35 people? And lo and behold, we had 92 people show up. So for me, one of the things I love is a sense of community. The community has always been my family. And I couldn't believe it, for our very first event, to have 92 people show up. So it shows that we're on the right track. And it shows that we have an audience, that people really care. And what this does, what our group does, is it brings community together. And I think that is the ultimate goal.
The future of Chautauqua is very, very exciting, because it just depends on the people who are involved in Chautauqua to find people who can and are willing to give performances to keep history alive.
Magic words, Athens Downtown Development Authority, ADDA, has been really, as a city partnership, is so much to be thankful for them. Without the help of Mike Hamby on the city council, he has been spearheaded so much in the background. Linda Ford, she's championed us all the way. When we have to show up for those meetings, she basically has convinced everybody that this was a good cause before we even stepped in the front of the door.
The Youth Performance Academy is a wonderful way to bring young people into history. As I mentioned before, it's when you see somebody perform, it just brings it alive. You can appreciate the emotion, what they went through, what they were thinking, more so than just reading a book.
One of the gentlemen that does some of the performances in Chautauqua, he related to us how being in drama as a kid in school changed his life. And I can see that with kids that maybe they come from disadvantaged homes, they may be bullied, they may not have athletic skills, but being involved in theater could change the whole trajectory of their life.